Everything is green and everyone is Irish. Don't go away. Hello everybody and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Today we indeed are doing the 3 Blind Mice Paint It Green challenge in honor of St. Patrick's Day, the day that everything goes green and everybody is an Irishman. It's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get to work. All right, everybody, welcome to my 3 Blind Mice Paint It Green or Pig build in honor of St. Patrick's Day, the day that everybody in the world is Irish. Before I get going, I want to apologize to my fellow mice or mices or whatever the plural of that would be, and to all of you for not being more present in the group builds. I really haven't done one since Paint It Pink that I know of. But honestly, I just needed a break from deadlines. I'm retired, and the deadlines were really starting to grate on me. This was a great build for me to jump back in on because I had plenty of advance notice, lots of time. It was a simpler build. And so, yeah, I apologize to everybody for being not present, as it were. But I'm here now, and we're going to paint something green. I looked at several cars, but of course, it's the last one that I look at that I'm going to pick. It's the Hot Wheels Redline Tri-Baby. This is a cool little car, and I think it's going to make a great showcase for a cool Spectraflame green. And when you open the hatch to look at the motor, you can see why it's called a Tri-Baby, because of the 3 turbine engines under the hood. As always, I'll take this car apart by using my shielded drilling technique, and I've got 2 posts to contend with. Once I get the car apart, we'll see that I've got, of course, the base and the body, interior and glass. And as I mentioned, this casting comes with a fantastic engine hood that lifts up to reveal the detailed engine. And better yet, the engine hatch lifts up and stays in position so you can really get in there. It doesn't just flop back down, which is a nice touch. So once I get this car apart, I can see that the suspension board is in great shape, and this car is a cap-style wheel car, and I love those because it's so easy to change out the wheels. So why have I taken to drilling, tapping, and putting a screw into the body before I move forward? Well, I'll tell you. It allows me to make sure that this car is going to go back together easily when I have a brand new paint job on that I'm trying to protect. After I'm done getting it all tapped out, by putting a screw in the hole, it keeps gunk and crud from getting in there, which could cause me a problem later on. So this has just become the norm for me, and it's really working well. Now for some tragic news. I told you that I was changing things around, new equipment, new software, stuff like that. Well, I had an epic fail, and I did not get the video of the goo drop. And let me tell you, it was just a classic. It was so good, and it breaks my heart I don't have it. Anyhow, I have to move forward. And so to make up for it, I'm going to use a new product called Flitz Calcium Rust and Lime. Now, one of my subscribers had told me about this stuff, and you know I love Flitz products, so I ordered some, and he swears that all you got to do is spritz it on the car, a little bit of work with the brass bristle brush, and you're going to get a wonderfully clean base. And brother, he wasn't lying. This did such a great job. I spritzed it on, let it sit for just a minute, and then I brushed it off and washed it. It worked great. Now you will notice that since I'm using it straight out of the bottle, I'm wearing gloves. Stupidly, I didn't think to put on a mask. I should have, because it is a little caustic, and when you have a lung problem, you know, a mask is in order here. I won't make that mistake again. But anyhow, another great product by Flitz. This is really just going to do a great job for me, and my base is going to look amazing. So anyhow, here it is after I've washed it off, and it looks fantastic, but I'm still going to go ahead and polish it with some Flitz polish, and then I'll protect it with Renaissance wax. Now, I talk a lot about the products I use, and I don't want to sound like one big long commercial. So I'm just going to lump it all together. I put most of the products I love and use on my Amazon store, and you can find that by going to www.amazon.com/shop/Paul Udelis. And there you'll be able to find virtually all the products I use for any of the things that I do, be it coin rings, pens, diecast, what have you. And yes, you'll be able to find Renaissance wax there as well. Now, I also do put a lot of links down in the description, so you can look there as well. And, you know, hey, use them, don't use them, whatever. I'm showing you the stuff that I use every day and that I love and trust. As long as we're shining things up, I might as well use the Flitz and a little cotton bud here, and I'm going to just polish up this window. I don't have a spare for this casting, but this one isn't broken, and it's in actually pretty good shape. It just needs a good polishing and a run through some gauzy. So on glass, it's in pretty good shape and doesn't need any sanding. I'll put a little of the gauzy on the cotton bud, and I'll start to burnish it in. And I'm really looking for a little bit of a squeaky noise. That tells me that I'm really getting things done. Once I'm happy with that, I will buff the glass out on a blue paper towel, and then finally using a soft microfiber cloth. And honestly, most of the time, you could very easily stop right there and your glass will look great. Gauzy is just that little extra step that takes it from great to greater? Yeah, I guess greater. So gauzy, you just take your glass, you give it a little dip, and it's really important that you wick away the extra, because what will happen is it will pool up and get gummy and build up in the corners. It'll make the glass harder to fit back in place. So you always wick away the extra, then you put it somewhere safe to dry so that no woolly boogers will land on it and screw up your work. So I already mentioned that this car is a cap style car, so I'm going to pop on some new wheels here. And I got to tell you, you know, I've got this penchant for deep dish chrome wheels. I don't know what it is. I think it's just more of the old school look I used to think of when I was younger. When I thought of a hot rod, I thought of like a Krager mag, and I think that's what I'm going for. But, you know, hey, you do you. If you like the silver wheels or the flatter wheels, go for it. But for me, deep dish, always. So to change the wheels, you just use your little X-Acto knife and you worm it in between the back of the cap and the front. And once you've got it in there, you just give it a little twist and the front cap part will just pop right off. Once you've got all 4 wheels popped off, the new ones just snap on easy peasy. You've seen me do it before, and you'll notice I did it here again today. I do as much to the car as possible before removing the old wheels, be they a cap style or a hub. I use the old wheels to protect the hub or the rear part of the cap. So I leave them on as long as possible, and I only change them at the last minute. That way I don't get any unpleasant punches to the gut. So here's the body of the Tri-Baby, fresh out of the warm liquid goo phase. It came out really good, but it definitely needs a little bit of cleanup. It's going to need a little bit of steel wool, and certainly it's going to need to be polished. Even though the green is a dark paint and it's going to hide some stuff, I don't want it to. So, I got to put in the work here. I'll start with the brass bristle brush. Then I'll move on to some 4-0 steel wool, and then I'll finish it all up with, of course, my Flitz and the rotary tool. So I'm using a Spectra Flame green from Bright Vision. I'll mix it up with a little bit of hardener, get it all mixed, put into my airbrush, and I'll start to lay it down the way I always do. In this particular case, I want a fairly dark green. So I'll hit it up with my tack coats, then several medium coats before wrapping it all up with my final wet coats. So the wet coats are where the magic happens. You put down your tack coats, you lay down your medium coats to build up to the color that you want. But the wet coats are where you get that deep, wet, glossy look. And it's really, really important that you work on that skill. You need to be able to put that paint down. You need to be able to see it laying down on the car as you're spraying it. And once you've mastered it, you're going to get some fantastic results. So everything is dry, and now is the fun part where we get to put this car back together. I'll take out the screws that I had in there temporarily, I'll put them to the side, and then we can go ahead and start putting all the component pieces back in their positions. First up, in goes the glass, and then the interior. Once I've got them nestled into position, I can drop the base on and screw the car all together. This casting came in two formats, one with the rear louvers painted black and one with them not. I'm not going to paint mine because I want the green to be the star of the show. Anyhow, here it is, my Tri-Baby in green for the Paint It Green Challenge. All right, there it is. My Tri-Baby in a fantastic Irish Kelly green. I think it came out great. I really think the casting worked as a platform to put that color on display. Really, really happy with the way it came out. If you liked the video, please give it a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to mash the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. All right. I'm going to get out of here, but before I do, I just want to say, make sure you please go out and watch the other videos of all those participating in the Three Blind Mice Paint It Green Challenge. I'm sure they're going to be fun, and if nothing makes you feel Irish, this should do it. All right, until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying, be good.